guest. Welcome to today's Big Brother Over the Top updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Mia Price. Happy birthday, Mia! Hope you're having an awesome day, and you just so happen to share a birthday with my little baby cousin who was born today. Woo! Alright, so anyway, if you want to be house guest of the day like Mia, the birthday girl, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Alright, so yesterday, Big Brother gave the house guest some cake making supplies for Whitney's birthday. Only a few days late, but we'll take it. We'll take what we can get. So they made her a nice little red velvet cake. They spelled out Happy B-Day with M&Ms. Okay, good thing that Whitney's not a have-not this week. That would really suck. If, like, you had your birthday and then 2 days later you're have-not and they give you a cake. That would suck. But anyway, yesterday there was a lot of chilling, waiting around for that safety ceremony. It was definitely a lazy Sunday. So 7 p.m. rolls around and, you know, you got the late night jamboree outside, and the Plastics decide they're going to go outside for this ceremony as well. Because yesterday during the 2 days ago, during the first safety ceremony, the house was divided. You know, you had some people in the kitchen, you had some people in one of the bedrooms. But this time, the Plastics were like, we're going to go where the late night jamboree is because we're going to, like, unite this. So Scott goes up to the HOH room, and it's time for him to make his selection. So in order, he saved Morgan, Shane, Danielle, and Shelby. Which means that Neely and Chrissy have been nominated, as we knew was going to happen, because they're pawns this week. So Scott joins everybody in the backyard. He wants to give a little nomination speech, explain his decision. So he tells Neely, I have so much respect for you. You have one of the strongest games in every aspect. You know, you're good at competitions, you're smart, you got a good social game. So you go out there and you crush that veto comp. And he really does mean that, because he wants, you know, someone to come off the block so that he can put up his real target. And he tells Chrissy, this was kind of weird. He says to Chrissy, we're both mental giants in this game, but we've got totally different approaches. So he says, I feel there are certain group activities that have made you feel uncomfortable, and that's why I'm putting you up. So Chrissy was like, what? Certain things made me feel uncomfortable? So she thinks that he's talking about the laundry incident where she freaked out because she thought people went through her dirty underwears. So she was like really pissed that Scott mentioned this in the speech. So then the Plastics go inside. It's just the late night jamboree out there now. And they are livid that the girls went outside during the ceremony. They're like, what the hell were they thinking? Like, they just want to gloat in our faces. And like, that's bad sportsmanship. What? I don't see that as bad sportsmanship, being together during the ceremony. Like, that's a little ridiculous, but whatever. So then Chrissy is saying, Scott made a personal dig at me in front of everyone. So she's like, I'm gonna go look some stuff up in the rule book. So she goes to the storage room to do that, and it's just like, oh my god. Whenever somebody pulls out the rule book, you know it's gonna be ridiculous. So on her way back out after, Scott sees her, and he asks her if she wants to go up to the HOH room and talk, and she's like, no. Anything you have to say to me, you can say in front of everybody else. So then Chrissy goes back to the late night crew, and she's like, I wasn't looking up the laundry thing, like people going through my stuff. She was looking up if she could get Scott in trouble at all for his speech. So, yeah. She was like, I'm going to have a little talk with production about Scott's speech. So we'll come back to that in a minute. It's so ridiculous. So then we were treated to another Justin monologue from the Sky Bridge. He keeps doing this thing where he'll just lay on the couch on the Sky Bridge and just start like yelling to Jason, who's downstairs, like fully talking about strategy, things like that. Just yelling it from the Sky Bridge to Jason downstairs. But before that, he was like, oh, what up, live feedsters? Everything gravy. He's cracking himself up. It's hilarious. So then he starts talking to Jason, who, of course, is downstairs again. And he's telling Jason, you know, basically, I'm riding the middle. I'm just going to let everybody else take each other out. I want to sit back and eat some popcorn. So Justin is definitely playing that floater game. And it's interesting because he didn't know anything about this game going into it. And he's learning very quickly. It's kind of reminding me of Paul from Big Brother 18, but Justin's game is a little different because he's definitely floating back and forth, and he's doing a really good job of it so far. So he's like, honestly, I don't even want to play in this next Power Veto competition because I don't want to have to, like, do anything here. So then he's asking Jason, do you think that Shane and Danielle would come for us this early? And Jason's like, no, they need us more than we need them. So then Justin's saying, like, I don't know, I don't really trust them, I'm getting bad vibes from them. And Jason tells him, like, don't worry, we're gonna take them out at some point, but we need to keep them around for a few more weeks. We could use their numbers right now. So then he's saying, like, don't worry that they're being all weird with you, because, you know, we've noticed the last few days that people are kind of nervous that Justin is floating over to the other side. He's been hanging out with them a lot. And Jason's telling Justin, like, don't worry, we're just territorial about you. It's like when your friend starts hanging out with other people and you're like, but that's my friend. So it's one of those situations. So he's saying, just relax with the couple. We'll let them be a meat shield for us. It's all good. All right, it's gravy. So then the late night crew was hanging out outside being bitter and stuff. And then you got the Plastics / the Ball Smashers. They're still the Plastics to me. They're up in the HOH room with Scott. And they're just like, why the frig is Chrissy so upset? Does she really think that she's the target this week? Like, it seems pretty obvious that she is a pawn. And she must have heard it from other people, but she's still freaking out, and I don't think she's doing herself any favors. So Scott is like, whatever, I don't feel bad about putting her up, because just last week, she was going around calling him a disgrace to the game. Which is hilarious, because I think Chrissy's seen about 5 minutes of the show, so crazy. But anyway, I do remember her saying that. And then he was saying he does feel bad about putting Neely up, though, because he likes her, and she's really just a pawn in the bigger scheme here. So this whole group, they're pretty sure that one of them is going to be America's nominee this week, because that's how it's been unfolding the last few weeks. You know, their people have been going home, they've been have-nots, so they're pretty much accepting it and kind of like working it into their plan. But they're nervous that Shane and Danielle could both get picked to play in the power veto, and then Scott is planning on choosing the double veto this week because of his care package. So if they both won the veto and they both used it, that would really mess with their plan, because then Scott would have to either put up Jason and Justin or people from their own side. So it would really screw them over. Alright, so then, this is hilarious. Okay, back to the Chrissy rulebook thing. So she was talking to Shelby in the bathroom area, and Chrissy's like, I know that I'm a pawn this week, but I really wish that Scott would just tell me that, just man up and tell me that, instead of making that stupid speech, and that speech was against the rules. So Shelby's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? So Chrissy says that Scott knew that she almost wanted to quit over the whole laundry thing, and bringing it up in front of everyone was like baiting her to quit. Oh my God, Lordy, Lordy. What? Okay, first of all, I'm pretty sure Scott did not know about the laundry incident. Maybe he did, I don't know. I don't think that's why she's up on the block, though. And I don't even know if I don't think that's what he was referring to in the whole speech. And I don't think it was meant to be malicious, but anyway, Chrissy is like way blowing this out of proportion in her head. So Shelby's like, no, I don't think that's what it was. But she tells Alex about it, and they're just like, what the frig is going on? Okay, so then last night, production be trolling. Shane and Danielle were like macking it in the lounge room, and the camera kept zooming in on that chalkboard that the Big Brother 18 house guests left their messages on. And you know how Paul wrote like F showmances on his section? They kept going back and forth from that to Shane and Danielle. It was hilarious. Alright, so this morning, America's nominee was revealed. This is where Mondays are so crazy, you guys. It's like one of the best feeds days. So America's nominee is Danielle. A lot of those late night jamboreers were pooping in their diapers. So then it was time for Scott to draw the players for the Power Veto competition. So we already have Scott, Neely, Chrissy, and Danielle competing. And then the two extra players are Alex and Justin. And Scott decided that Jason will be the host for this competition. Yay! Alright, so if you look at who's playing this competition, not a great draw for that late night jamboree. So they retreat to the London room, and first they're all sulky, and they're like, this is pretty much the worst thing that could have happened. How did this happen? Like, how is Danielle up on the block? Some of them know why, because they're freaking tired of her too. So then, you know, after the sulking is over, it's like the 5 stages of grief, but instead it's the 5, or maybe only like 2 or 3 stages of Big Brother. So after the sulkiness, they get angry, and Neely is really going off about Shelby and the other girls like celebrating that they were safe this week. So she was like, they're being ignorant and reckless because 2 out of the 3 of the nominees are still going to be here next week and we're going to take them out. And she was saying that she saw them like shimmying or something in the bathroom, but like she wasn't even in the bathroom. She said she saw it through the reflection off of like the freaking microwave or some bullshit. I don't know. It was crazy though, and she was going on for a long time about it. But anyway, I'm sorry. It's just like, they need to get a grip. Okay, so then Justin was checking in with Jason, Chrissy, and Neely, and Justin was saying if he wins the veto, he's going to use it on one of them and not Danielle. So, like, just relax. So then Jason is like, but I'm nervous that he's going to, you know, somehow end up on the block with Danielle and Shane, because he's figuring, like, if Neely and Chrissy do come down, it could be Jason going up with Shane as the replacements, and then he's worried that Shane and Danielle are going to run around and make deals with everyone, and he's going to be going home. But they're all saying, no, that's never going to happen. The other side cannot stand Danielle. There's no way they're going to vote you out. Come on, man. So then you got Scott and the Ball Smashers up in the HOH room. Justin's hanging out with them for a while too, and they're just kind of in study mode right now. They're going through all those intercom messages from Big Brother, those like random ones where they're like, house guests, these are the good old days, like enjoy them now or whatever, and like the tallest building west of the Mississippi is blah blah blah, that kind of thing. So they're studying that, they're hanging out. I think there was also a little bit of debate about who should go this week between Shane and Danielle, and it almost seems like people are starting to lean more towards Danielle now. I know Shane was the target before, but I don't think they've completely settled yet on who it's going to be. So then at 1 p.m., it was time for the power veto competition. So they all go out to the backyard, and it turns out that this was one of those knockout competitions. So 2 at a time, they were doing this puzzle face-off. Now this puzzle was only 4 pieces, but it was like a Tetris puzzle. So one person would have to choose somebody else to face off against. You do your puzzle. Whoever buzzes in first with the correct answer moves on. If you buzz in first and you're wrong, you're out, or if you're like a loser, you're out. You know what I mean. Alright, so Chrissy was up first, and she chose to go against Alex. I saw that coming for sure. But guess what? Alex won, which means that she moved on and Chrissy was out, and Chrissy was just like, bleh. Alright, so then Danielle was up. She chose to face off against Scott. Danielle ended up winning this one. Scott's out. And then it was Neely's turn. She also chose to go against Alex. Alex won that one. She's still in it. Neely's out. And then it was Justin's turn, and he decided to go against Danielle, which was interesting. I was like, is he like throwing this to her or what? Because it's kind of weird that he chose someone like in his alliance, but I guess he's kind of like in the middle now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But Justin ended up beating Danielle. So immediately after that, Danielle runs and like she's crying in the corner in the bushes. Shane is like, it's okay, it's okay. So then it looked like Alex and Justin were going to face off again, but they didn't need to because it's double POV. So just kidding. They both win the power veto this week. It's going to be really interesting. The power veto ceremony is tomorrow. I'm pretty sure Scott only wants one person to use the veto. I think they want to save Neely, then leave Chrissy and Danielle up there and put up Shane in Neely's place. I think that's the plan, but we'll know for sure tomorrow. So let me know what you guys think, and until then, much love.